Okay, perfect. I am not sure if we should wait a little bit more. From Portugal, from Bulgaria, Slovenia, Italy, Turkey. Perfect, guys.
We have
For
Spain, Belgium,
Belgium.
nice.
Brazil,
Brazil.
here we go, Matilda.
Hi,
You're
I'm
in
currently in
Brazil.
Brazil.
That's awesome.
Hungary. See ya, Cristina.
Spain,
Singapore,
Germany.
Brazil.
Perfect. So we're gonna wait like a couple seconds more and I'm gonna introduce myself. I'm gonna introduce our guest, which is Matilda, and we're gonna start our webinar. So from Tunisia, that's perfect. Okay, for now we have 32 participants, let me start. So hi everyone, my name is Jacob. I am from Europe Language Jobs, which is one of the biggest job boards in Europe. Like we're trying to help multilinguals across Europe find a job by using their languages. So yeah, that's who we are. And today we have a webinar with Matilda. She's a career coach, and I'm gonna introduce her fully like at the end. But first, I just want to explain you why we are here. So October is a month that all month we're going to share with you a lot of useful information on our social media, on our website. So you can stay tuned on our TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and so on. We're going to post a lot of useful information. Yeah. And during that time, during this month, every single Tuesday and Thursday, we're going to have webinars with our career coaches, with yeah, we're gonna have live presentations, roundtable with them. So I think it's worth it to participate with this event. So all 30 days, we're gonna share with you a lot of useful information. We're gonna talk about how to find inspiration, how to write a CV. We're gonna talk a little bit about structure of the company to just let you know how it works, what kind of departments company has, and so on. Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about negotiate the salary. So stay tuned. Everything is on our website. And right now, my colleague, she's gonna share with you link for this. And I just want to talk a little bit about our sponsors, and I just want to say thank you for them. And so our sponsor is Teleperformance Greece, Teleperformance Spain, WebHelp Spain, Fujitsu Portugal, T-Tech, Cytel Sweden, Cytel Portugal, and Farfetch. And here we go. Like, I just want to present you Matilda, which is a career coach, career strategist, and founder of Brandwiser. Over 9 years, she was working with the HR industry and helps professionals get hired. Yeah, her mission is to make a job search easy, productive, and fun. Sounds amazing, right, guys? So yeah, so what you can learn from Matilda today, we're going to talk a little bit about how to identify your career goals, how to organize your job search, brand yourself and network, and we're going to talk at the end about stay motivated and succeed. So hello, Matilda. It's really nice to hosting you here. Yeah, so I
Hello,
just
thank you
let
so
you
much.
speak.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. First of all, thank you so much, your Language Jobs team, for making this happen, right? And thank you everyone else for joining. This is the second time in a row that we are doing this webinar. So we started last year. We got really nice feedback, and I think a lot of people really liked it. They found it useful. They managed to use the tips, the advice that we shared. So we're hoping to do the same this year. I have a lot to talk about, so I would really advise you to have your water, have a notebook, have a pen, pencil, take notes on your phone, whatever you guys prefer. And yeah, let's get started, right? You can always ask questions. You can add them in the chat. We're going to have a Q&A session at the end, but we will also be monitoring the chat, so we can answer any questions you might have at that time as well, okay? So let's go. What this is going to be today, we're going to cover a lot of topics. So I would call this your job search starter kit. We're going to talk about career clarity. We're going to talk about your resume, your cover letter, your LinkedIn. We're going to talk about how to organize your job search. We're going to talk about interviewing. So we're talking about a lot of things. I'm giving you the basics. I'm calling this a starter kit because we don't have time to go in depth into, exactly how to answer interview questions or exactly how to build your resume. There are going to be more webinars in the coming days specified and specific to these topics. Today, we're starting with the basics. Why should you stay? Everyone is busy. I want to really help you in this 1 hour, maybe a bit more than an hour. So why should you stay? Here I have included some feedback that we received last year after last year's webinar. So as you can see here, someone said, I kept notes from your session. I'm optimistic it will help me land my first job after a career change soon. It was really cool and helpful. It was a great webinar. I wanted to tell you that I implemented everything you said in the webinar a few months ago and got a job at Microsoft that I was rejected for in the past. That is amazing, right? So last year we had a mix of, recent graduates and people with more experience. It would be very interesting for me to hear from you right now, just to know, where exactly are you in your career right now? Are you a recent graduate? Or, are you someone with more years of experience? If you're someone with experience, how many years of experience do you have and in which area? And while you do that, I will also quickly tell you that last thank you note. So I just wanted to send you a quick thank you note. It was a very interesting and insightful webinar. Thanks for sharing with us documents and tools. We're going to share the same documents and tools today, so just stay with us. One more reason for you to stay, guys. This is a case study of Wendy. Wendy actually joined the webinar last year, and I see you're smiling there. So the thing is that she enjoyed the 30 days challenge, right, that the Europe Language Jobs team organized last year. She was in a position where she didn't enjoy what she was doing. So she was in this company, she was working long hours, she didn't feel appreciated. And that's a story that repeats a lot. I see that with my clients all the time. If you see on that first part on the left, she said that I decided to take matters into my own hands. And that's amazing. And how she started is actually by attending the webinar and the multiple webinars last year. You guys are doing exactly the same. So really great job for that. So anyway, going back to Wendy, she was actually working night shifts last year, but she tried to attend as many webinars as possible. She really liked the enthusiasm of the team. And then as she attended a couple of webinars, she really connected with 2 career coaches. She, after all, decided to contact me and we worked together. Then she found a new job. Actually, I had a call with her 2 days ago because now she's looking for the next step in her career. Maybe it's in that company that she joined back then, maybe it's somewhere else. So yeah, that is the example of Wendy. You can always connect with her if you have questions. But I just wanted to share this with you because it's important for you to stay until the end, to take notes, to try to implement things. If you're only going to learn one thing today, for me, that would be if you're unhappy at work or in your career in general, maybe you're not working right now, take action. You are taking action, you joined today, you're joining different webinars. That's amazing. That's the first step. Don't stop there. You can reach out to a professional, update your LinkedIn, take a new course, watch a video that is inspiring you to take more action. You can update your resume. You can make a new connection on LinkedIn now. You can reach out to someone that you don't know. You can do whatever you can. Start small, but get started. You already got started because you're here today, but do more things. Continue what you're actually doing. And I will be, okay, I'm just checking the chat very quickly. Perfect. It seems that we have, again, a mix of different people, right? We have people with more experience. We have some fresh graduates as well. Excellent. I want to change my professional field. I'm hesitant. Oh, okay. I see that between HR and digital marketing. I will tell you a bit about me right now. So you can, I've done both HR and marketing, so you can reach out to me anytime and we can connect. I can give you some tips about both fields, you know, the benefits that I find in both. So a couple of things about me very quickly. I am Matilda, yes. So I'm originally from Greece. I'm actually half Greek, half Albanian. And right after graduating, that was 10, 11 almost years ago, I moved to Hungary. I moved to Hungary for an internship. I just wanted to get my first work experience abroad, to learn more things. I thought I would spend maybe 6 months to a year in Hungary. I ended up spending 10 years in Hungary, as you can see there. I initially worked in a very small company. Then I moved to a multinational. I did recruitment there. So I was hiring multilingual profiles. Then after that corporate recruitment, I moved to an agency. So I did agency recruitment. I started hiring all across EMEA. And then from there, I also did internal recruitment. So I ended up hiring recruiters that were then hiring people for different roles all over Europe. A few months ago, I decided to leave Hungary after spending 10 years there. Currently, I'm in Brazil. I also spent 2 months in Albania. I spent some time in Greece. And that is something that is extremely important for me right now. One of my values is freedom, that freedom that comes from your work. We're going to talk about values in a little bit. That's why I'm mentioning this now. And what I briefly mentioned about HR and marketing. So I told you that I did HR for many years. Then I realized I wanted to do something different. I wanted something a bit more creative. And then I moved to marketing, still for an HR company, but I did marketing. I got some new opportunities, some new learnings there. And after some years in marketing, I decided I was actually missing helping others again. So this is when I ended up leaving my full-time job, and now I do full-time what I really love. So I'm a career strategist. I founded a Brandwiser career coaching as well. What my motto is that really life is too short to do work we don't enjoy. And I'm not saying that every single part of your job will be something you love 100%. Like for me, admin is something that I don't enjoy that much, but I still do it. So the point is reaching that point where you actually do most of the things that you enjoy. Okay, agenda. Let's talk about what we're going to cover today. I mentioned earlier that this is really your starter kit, right? So we will start by clarifying your career goals. Then we're going to move to creating powerful career documents. Third point will be about networking. It's my favorite part. Then staying on track, how to stay on track with your job search, with your applications, with your networking. And last but not least, how to rock that interview. Clarifying your career goals. Why this is important? You need to be strategic in your job search. You cannot reach your goals unless you know what your goals are, right? You want to go somewhere. You cannot reach your destination unless you know where you're going. It's exactly the same in your career. There's so many great exercises that you can do. There's that ikigai concept many of you might be familiar with. I want to simplify this. So I would ask you to basically focus on these 3 different areas. 1, what you enjoy. 2, what you're good at. And 3, what you value. A bit earlier, I told you that one of my values is freedom. This is where that comes. So why what you enjoy and what you're good at are 2 very important things, is because you might be doing things that you enjoy, but maybe you're not that good at them yet. And then the other way around, maybe you're good at specific things like, oh, I know how to use this specific tool, or I do this at work every day. Maybe you don't really enjoy that, right? So you need to be very clear about what it is that you enjoy, you're good at, and you value. How you can do that? First of all, about what you enjoy. And we don't really have time right now, but you can take a notebook, you can take a pen and paper, and start asking yourself, 1, what are the top 3 things you loved about your current job or your last job if you're not working right now? If I would ask you guys to tell me the first thing that comes to mind, the first thing that, you really, really loved about your last job, your current job, what would that be? Let me know. And I'm taking a look. Oh, I see there are a lot of comments about Brazil. Okay. Yeah, nice. Very nice. Money. I love that. We all need that, right? It's so important. But then something that is important for you to ask yourself is it only money? Like, would you do any type of job that just pays you well? So come up with these priorities. The second question you can ask yourself is, what are the tasks that you disliked and you would prefer not to do again? I told you, for me, something that I have to do, I still have to do sometimes, is admin. But now I have reached the point when I can actually delegate a lot of that. I still have to do some of it, but I'm able to delegate. It's very important for you to be clear on what it is that you don't like that much, so then you can decide how you can move forward. So can you delegate it? If yes, perfect. If not, how can you do less of it? Or can you make it more fun? Then the third question is, when do you have the most fun at work? It can be so many things, right? It can be a project you worked on or you work on. It can be the team. It can be a specific colleague. It can be even things after work, but still related to work. And then the fourth question is, what would you like to learn or explore further? One of the top reasons why people change jobs is lack of learning opportunities. The thing is that sometimes your current company, your current workplace might be offering these opportunities, but maybe you and your manager or your manager are not aware. So again, get clear on what it is that you would like to learn, which field you would like to develop further, and then go and try to find a place that offers you these opportunities. The second part, so we talked about what you enjoy, right? The second part in this is what you're good at. So what are your top skills? What are these skills that you have developed over the years? And if you're someone that doesn't have work experience yet, that's fine. You did things at school, you did things at university. Maybe you did different sports and then you developed specific skills there as well, right? Maybe you volunteered. Maybe you traveled alone for 3 months. All these experiences, so your education, your work, your life in general, and also, like your after work activities, all those help you develop specific skills. So again, get clear on what these skills are. The second question is, what topics are you knowledgeable about and can talk about for hours? What is it that you like? For example, for me, I like to sew. It's weird. I don't think I would ever do that my profession because I would be bored doing that all day long. But it's something that I enjoy and I like doing that after work. So what is it that you're knowledgeable about? When you go on YouTube and you watch videos, what are these videos about? And then the third question is, do your friends ask you for advice? On what topics? Again, they come to you for advice on a specific topic because you are knowledgeable on that topic, right? Because they trust your advice on that topic. What is that? You can actually go ahead and ask your friends. This is an exercise that we do a lot with my clients. We ask, or they ask, but I ask them to ask. So they ask their friends, their colleagues, their family, what is it that you think I'm good at? And it's weird in the beginning to ask for that, right? But it helps so much. You see, you get some great feedback, some great answers, and it helps you uncover some things about yourself as well. So we talked about what you enjoy, we talked about what you're good at. The last part of this is what you value. Do you know what your values are? We think that knowing our values or getting to know our values is a very hard exercise. It's not. It's not. If you decide to sit down and do that research and try to understand yourself, try to understand what is important to you right now, you will see it's actually really easy to do. And that is the number one question that I would tell you to ask yourself now. Why? Because you will know yourself better. And at the same time, you will know When you later on go ahead and apply for a company, when you research a company, you will know if, or you can kind of predict if you're going to be happy there. Why? Because then your values will align to the values of the company. I hear this a lot of, oh, I'm not happy there because I don't have opportunities, because they don't value me, because my manager doesn't respect me. You need to know what your values are to then decide if that workplace, if that team, if that role even is good for you. And then the other question is, what does career success look like for you? I saw earlier someone said money, right? There's so many different things. Maybe money is very important to you right now. Perfect. Maybe it's development opportunities. Maybe it's flexibility. Maybe it's working remotely 100% of the time. Maybe it's something different. Be sure to be very clear on what career success looks like for you right now, what is important to you right now, and what it is that you're looking for. And these things will change. They will likely change in your career. Something that is important to you right now might not be that important in the future. And then maybe something else becomes important. One point about money, normally it's not just money. So money is your salary, but then it's also all the different benefits you're going to have. So you always need to think about that whole thing. If you're still unsure, there are a lot of skill diagnostics. There are a lot of great tests you can use. I have included 2 examples there. There are, of course, a combination of paid and free resources. I also have a free resource. It's my career clarity guide. We're going to share the presentation, I believe tomorrow or the upcoming days. So when you take it, you can also just download my career clarity guide, or you can also just go to my website right now and do it. Don't do it right now, focus on this, and then you can do it later. So then, other things you can do: network and volunteer. So network, reach out to professionals that do what I put here, what you think you would enjoy doing. I'm saying you think because, you might think you would enjoy doing job X. You might enjoy being a consultant at PwC, but then you go there and you see that for that specific project you're working on, you might have to work 12, 13 hours a day. And you're like, oh no, I don't really want that. So it's important to reach out to professionals that do what you think you would enjoy doing. Reach out to them, ask them about their really small details of their job, how their day-to-day looks like. So then you can understand whether that is something that would work for you, right? I'm going to show you later on exactly how to reach out to professionals using LinkedIn, because you might have an existing network. Perfect. If you don't have, you can still use LinkedIn. LinkedIn is there for that, in order for you to expand your existing network. The last part is volunteer. So you need to try things out, right? You need to experiment to find out what really makes you happy. And I'm not going to tell you to take an unpaid job for 3 months and an unpaid job for 6 months. If you can afford it, great. But I'm telling you to work on small projects for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So what we've covered is clarifying your career goals. And that's the very first step. Because I know when you're looking for a job, you get all excited and you're like, oh, I want to update my resume now, or I want to create a resume. I want to start applying now. I will click quickly, update my LinkedIn profile. Yes, but if you don't do this very first part, you will end up joining a company. And then a few months later, you will be like, oh, is this really what I wanted? And I see that a lot. I see that with a lot of people. They join new companies. 6 months later, they reach out to me. Oh, I'm not happy. Why 6 months later? Because the beginning is always exciting. You join a new company, you do something different, you meet new people. It's exciting and it's normal. But then you reach this point of like, okay, do I really want to be here? The second part. And I am not really monitoring the chat. I see that there are a lot of comments there. So I will be taking a look in a little bit. Let's move to the second part, creating powerful career documents. What we're talking about here is your resume, your cover letter, your LinkedIn profile, and your social media accounts. Most of the time, people don't think about their social media, but I'm here to tell you that recruiters are going to check your social media accounts. So check those settings, make sure that, pictures that you don't want everyone to see are not really there, or are there just for your friends, right? I can talk about this for hours. So I can talk about how to build your resume, how to update your LinkedIn profile, but we don't have that time. There are going to be more webinars focused on this specifically. What I'm going to tell you here is that specific to your resume is that layout matters, but for me, content is still king. Layout matters because a person is going to look at your CV, right? You want it to look nice, you want it to look professional, you want it to be easy for someone to read, easy for someone to see the most important parts. But content is still the most important thing. Don't focus on what your tasks and responsibilities were, because a customer support agent in company X is still a customer support agent in company Y. They might have a bit of different tasks. Maybe they're working on extra projects or this or that, but the core of the role is the same. So a recruiter that is recruiting for a customer support agent in company Y already knows what the person whose CV they're looking at did in company X. What I want to ask you to do on your CV, on your resume, is to focus on achievements. Sometimes it might be hard to think about those, but always think about extra projects you work on. Think about any mentoring, think about any help. Of course, think about numbers, right? Everyone loves to see numbers. Give specific examples. And the last thing I want to talk about here is that you need to create a consistent message across all these different elements. So let me go back across your resume, cover letter, and LinkedIn profile. I'm not telling you to copy everything that you have on your resume to your LinkedIn profile. That's totally not about that. I have a lot of posts on my Instagram about the differences between resumes and your LinkedIn profile, because there are a lot. You can go ahead and check that. But what I'm saying here is that all your job titles, dates, and all the other important information should be the same, should be consistent. So if you said that, if your LinkedIn says you worked in a specific company for 2 years, your resume cannot say you worked in that company for 4 years. And I'm saying this and I'm highlighting this because I've seen it a lot. So what we've covered so far, we talked about career clarity. We talked briefly about your career documents. Again, we can go back and talk about how to build your resume for hours. We don't have time. Let's go to networking. Let's go back. Let me ask you actually, what does networking feel for you? When you hear about networking, what's the first word that comes to mind? And now I will check the chat. Tell me what it is that you're thinking. Yeah, nice. Creating powerful and valuable connections, meeting work-related people, connecting. Nice, connections. Perfect. Very good. Very, very good. Okay, a lot of people think that, or feel that networking is very salesy, networking is fake, networking is pushy. Like, oh, I cannot reach out to this person that I don't know. It would be too pushy. It shouldn't feel like that. And also, it shouldn't look like this. Like, hi, can you review my resume? Or do you have a job for me? I've seen this, I get these messages on LinkedIn, and I cannot help someone that just tells me that. Why? Because then I will have to go to their LinkedIn profile, take a look at their profile, and then try to understand what their goals are. How can I know that, right? What networking really is what you guys mentioned. So you gave a lot of great answers. Meaningful connections, connecting people. So you talked a lot about connections. So what networking really is building real long-term connections. It's also adding value. It's also finding mentors. How you're going to network now? Okay, we go back to the clarity, we go back to knowing your goals, knowing what you're looking for. So you want to be very specific about what you want to achieve. Maybe you're looking for a job right now. So you want to expand your network or to inform your existing network that you're looking for a job. That's perfect. Maybe you are still at uni and you're looking for a new opportunity, or you will be looking for a new opportunity in 6 months. So now you want to network and use this time so that then it will be a lot easier to get that opportunity, right? So there are a lot of different, every person has their own different goals. Be specific about what you want to achieve. And then from there, in order for the whole thing not to feel fake, pushy, salesy, start small. Reach out to your friends, reach out to your family, and ask them for help. Tell them what they're looking for. Very often, our family, even our partners, don't know exactly what we're looking for, sometimes because we don't know what we're looking for. But then reach out to them. Tell them what you're looking for and ask for help. Tell them how they can help you. Ask them if they know someone in a specific industry you're interested in, or in a company you would like to work for. You never know who knows who. So the third part is don't burn bridges. Let's say you left the workplace and you're like, okay, I'm done with that place. No, stay connected with former colleagues, stay connected with classmates, stay connected with people on LinkedIn. It's there to help you. It's a professional social media network. LinkedIn is there for this reason. The fourth part is don't fear cold outreach. So, you started small, you reached out to friends, family, no one knows anyone. You reached out to former colleagues, classmates, no one knows anyone about that specific role and company you're interested in. Use LinkedIn. Find people and connect with them. Again, in a couple of slides, I'm going to teach you how to use LinkedIn and how to find people, how to reach out to them. Don't be afraid of cold outreach. And the last part is stick with it. It's a long-term game, right? So it's about building long-term connections. It is a long-term game. It might give you results tomorrow, but maybe it doesn't. Don't give up too quickly. So if you send 5 connection requests on LinkedIn and no one replies, or one person replies, then say, oh, LinkedIn doesn't work. I'm giving up. No, don't give up too quickly. It is really a long-term game. Okay. My number one tip about networking is if you're looking for a job right now, start networking right now. If you're not looking for a job right now, still start networking right now. Why? Because it's really a long-term game. Now this part, how to find contacts on LinkedIn. So let's say you want to work for Apple, you want to work for Netflix, you want to work for whatever. Go on LinkedIn, on the top search bar, type the name of the company. Then you will have companies, so select companies, go to the profile of the company basically, go to the people's tab, and then use keywords to basically search for the person you're looking for. So you can search for the hiring manager, the recruiter, someone in HR, a peer, someone that you would be working with, and you can ask them about the environment, the team, the culture, anything you want. Use these keywords. You're going to see that you actually have more options. So, you can even figure out on that LinkedIn page where these people live, where these people studied. Maybe someone studied at the same university that you did. So then you see you already have a connection point. So then connect with them and remember to always add a personalized note. And as I say here, do your research. So what I told you about, maybe they studied with you. Do your research. When you find someone, go to their profile and try to identify some common points that you might have and use those in the connection request. So when you go to connect, so you have the profile of the person, you click connect. I always recommend adding a note. Why? Because that gives you 300 characters that you can actually utilize so much to your advantage. So you add a personalized note like this, and then you have so many more chances for the person to accept your invite. Here I have included 3 message examples. So the first one just says, you see they're very short. Hi, I saw we're both connected with this person and I thought I would reach out. What you're doing at this company is impressive and I would love to add you to my network. Very simple. So this is a message that you can use to reach out to someone when you have a mutual connection. In that case, you're going to see a second connection on LinkedIn. So first connections are people you are directly connected with, are like friends on Facebook. Then second connection is kind of friends of friends. You're not directly connected, but you have common connections. The second example. Hi, I saw you joined this company 8 months ago. How are you liking your experience? Company is recruiting for a job title, and I'm looking to get some clarity before I apply. It would be wonderful to hear your thoughts. Very simple. This is a message that you can use to reach out to someone that is already working in a company you would like to work for. The last example, hi name, I've really enjoyed reading your posts on, name of the LinkedIn group or a specific page. I'd love to connect and learn more about your work. So this is something you can use for an industry leader or someone that is just simply in a group that has experience and you feel can connect you to other people in specific industries. These are just some examples. I have actually created an ebook. It has 82 pages. It's 82 pages long. It has 27 email templates. It has a lot of real examples. So you can see the template, you can see the example, a lot of tips and insights. So I have included psychology behind why every message works. I also have included 3 bonuses, email signature, email subject lines, because they really matter, as well as a job search tracker. If you guys get it in the next 24 hours using the ELG 2022 coupon code, then you can have $10 discount. And here I have quickly included a sneak peek of what you can expect there, as well as the outline. So I have a lot of different templates on how to leverage your existing network, notify your contacts you're looking for a job, message someone in your dream company, how to make new connections. So, okay, you don't know anyone, how to expand that network. And there are examples similar to these, but a lot more detailed. Job application, what to do right after applying for a job, how to follow up, a template again to follow up if you don't hear back. Again, how to find relevant contacts related to that application. What to do after the interview, we're going to talk about this, an interview follow-up, a response to rejection, because we cannot control everything. Sometimes we get rejected and that's fine. Job offer, how to negotiate a job offer, very hard for a lot of people. How to decline an offer, how to ask for more time. Let's say you have 2 interviews at 2 different companies and you're like, oh, I got an offer, but I still cannot decide because I'm still in the process. So again, I have templates for that and the bonuses that I mentioned. Okay, so what we've covered, clarifying your career goals, career documents, CV, LinkedIn profile, cover letter, how to network like a pro. Okay, all that's great, but you need to learn how to stay on track, right? Because if you apply for 5 jobs, okay, you will probably remember you applied for these 5 jobs. You will remember I had an interview for this one. I was rejected for that one. They hired someone else for that one. They put on hold this one. Great. But if you apply for more roles, if you network with more people, that's what I recommend. You need something that is going to help you to stay on track. So let's talk about this a bit.
Stay on track.
Yep. So what I would say is create a weekly job search schedule that includes networking, research, and applications. I think you probably realize that for me and for a lot of career coaches, career consultants, networking is really important. Why? Because it can give you access to a lot of opportunities that might never be advertised. There's so many different roles that they never open externally, right? But if you know someone in the company, you might get aware of that role. So networking, research, and applications. Why applications are important? Because at the end of the day, even if you network, you will still have to apply for jobs. And then you will always, of course, go to job boards, go to LinkedIn and apply for jobs. So that's definitely part of it as well. Research, super important. Why? Because you need to know if that company is a place where you would really like to work for. You need to know about the role, you need to know about the team, So that research aspect is super important too. So for me, my recommendation to you guys is to create a job search schedule that includes networking, research, and applications. So how to stay organized? I don't know what works best for you. You can create a spreadsheet, you can use an app, there are a lot of different apps. You can use pen and paper, whatever works for you, but use something to help you stay on track. Use your calendar and organize your inbox. Use your calendar. Of course, you're going to use it for the different interviews you're going to have, right? So you are going to use your calendar, but then I would recommend that you also add blocks in your calendar. Let's say on Monday, I'm going to spend 1 hour or 30 minutes. Maybe it's just 5 minutes. You know how much time you have, you decide. On Monday, I'm going to spend 30 minutes, between 6 and 6:30 networking. On Tuesday, I'm going to spend 20 minutes researching. Add blocks to your calendar so that you can stay motivated and you actually know exactly what you are going to have to do, what you will want to do. And there are different strategies. Some people prefer to find a job, directly apply for it, so they do that in a day. Some other people prefer to spend maybe, Monday researching for jobs and saving jobs on LinkedIn, let's say. And then on Wednesday, they apply. And then on Wednesday, after applying, they network, they find contacts in the company, they reach out to them. Find out, experiment, try, find out what works for you and do that. There is no one right approach. The third part, so we talked about blocking time, right? Block and track your time, but stay flexible in your approach. Why? Because things are going to happen. If you're working right now, maybe you stay late one day, or maybe you're just tired. Maybe you want to rest. Block and track your time, but stay flexible in your approach. Keep your documents organized is the fourth point, and named properly. I've seen so many CVs and cover letters named with very random namings. Keep it very simple. First name, last name, resume. First name, last name, cover letter. You can also add the name of the role that you're applying for. The fifth part is set up alerts. I told you that, in that strategy, there are different strategies, but in one of the strategies, maybe someone checks LinkedIn and sets up alerts, right? And then another day they apply for jobs. Use that to your advantage. So you spend as least time as possible dealing with all this, right? Because I hear a lot of my clients tell me, oh my God, job search feels like a full-time job. And it can be true. So use all that, use your spreadsheet, use your calendar, block your time, keep everything organized so that it's easy for you to find things. And then the last part is take notes after the interview. It might seem a bit irrelevant being here, but it's very important. Take notes after the interview. I know you're done with the interview. You're like, okay, that's it. Now I'm going to wait. Hopefully they call me. No, take notes. Ask yourself, what is it that I liked? If you get an offer, you need to know what you liked, right? You need to know if you want to be there or not. So take notes after the interview. Write down what you liked. Write down any questions you might have. Write down how you felt. Was it good? Was it a good feeling? Did you like it? Did you feel like weird? Is there something that you could improve? Take these notes and send a thank you note to the interviewer within 24 hours of the interview. We're going to talk a bit about this. The first part is, create a spreadsheet. I have created a Google Sheet, so you can definitely just use that. Let me see if I can pull that up quickly so I can show you. So let me start with the job applications. You see there are different tabs here, right? So we have job applications, company research, networking, intro messages, and profile setups, as well as a tab for different questions. So first of all, very simple, right? We want to keep everything very simple. You don't have to use everything in here. Just use whatever works for you. I use this with all my clients and it works for them, right? So job applications, job title and company name. You want to write those down. As I told you, if you're only applying for 5 jobs, or if you're in the process, in the interviewing process for 5 jobs, it might be easy for you to remember. If it's more, you will forget. So job title, company name. Then we have application details. Add the URL of the job posting, or just copy paste all the content of the posting. How you heard about the role, the date you applied, when you followed up, and your application status. If you found someone in the company, that is what I recommend, add the details of the person. So their LinkedIn contact, their email, date you reached out, the outcome, everything. On the second tab, we have that company research. So guys, what you can do is, one, apply for jobs. So you try to find jobs, you apply, then you follow up. You find a recruiter, you follow up, or a hiring manager, and that's fine, right? The other approach is to be proactive. The other approach is to identify companies you would love to work for, find the contact, even if there are no jobs advertised. So this is where this tab comes in. So company research. You identify the company, then you go to their website, you add their website here, industry, their mission, their values. Those are really important because they're also going to help you identify or understand, okay, do their core values match with mine? Do I want to work there? Yes or no? Recent news that they might have, their Glassdoor reviews. Go on Glassdoor, check Glassdoor. You will find some really nice reviews and some really bad reviews. The truth is kind of in between. And what you like about them, what you love about them. And then again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this part now. You can make your own copy of this, and you can then just check it in detail. Again, keep whatever works for you. The third part, very quickly, is that networking part. So you decide to expand your network. Write down the name of the person you reached out to, job title, company, LinkedIn URL, some other contact information. I have also included some introduction messages here, and they're different than the ones that are on the presentation. And the last tab here is the profile setups. You might create profiles on some recruitment agencies or in some job boards. Add everything here so that you have everything very organized, and it's easy for you to find now, but also in the future. Okay? I can close this and we can go back to our presentation. Set weekly goals. We talked about weekly goals. We talked about networking, research, applications. So set goals and focus on the things you can control. If the company decides to hire someone with more experience, that's fine. You cannot control that. You cannot control who else is applying for a job. Focus on the things you can control. Show up as the best version of yourself as a professional, as a person. That's the only thing you can control. You can control how much you prepared before the interview. You can control the layout of your career documents. There's something, or how many people you networked with. These are things that depend on you, but there are some other things outside of your control. Don't worry too much about those. If you interviewed for a role and then they ended up closing it or putting it on hold, it's not something you can control, unfortunately. And progress is progress. It's not always about how many interviews you had. That's great, right? You had 3 interviews, perfect. But it's also about how many connections you made, how many people you talked to, how many interviews you had, how many companies you researched this week, how many informational interviews did you have, how many people you reached out to and asked them to meet you, to give you information about the role, and how many roles you applied for. So keep track of everything. What gets measured gets managed. And keep in mind that it's not only about the offers you're getting. Does that make sense?
Yes, of course. Matilda, I'm thinking, because we have like couple questions on our chat.
Perfect.
So maybe you can check it, because they're like first.
There are a
from
lot,
bottom.
right? There are a lot of questions. So let's take some of them right now. Yes. So someone is asking very quickly, can I have a copy of the PowerPoint presentation? We're going to share the presentation. Okay. So I started working as an assistant in my field, but then I went to work as secretary and English teacher. Now, how to go back applying for my field? That is an amazing question. Honestly, you said that you started working in your field, but then you left, right? That means that you already have experience in that field. Your cover letter, your resume is basically just a marketing document. It's your resume is not there to show everything you have done. It's there to highlight some key parts of your experience. That can be you working in that specific field. Even when you changed, you probably had a reason why you changed, right? Use a cover letter to explain why you changed and why you want to go back. And use networking, reach out to people, because you can then tell them all these things. So I'm sure there is a reason why you want to go back. Tell them that. And honestly, even if you didn't have experience in the field, it doesn't mean anything. I've worked with so many people that are changing jobs. I've helped so many people completely transform their careers. There are always a lot of things that we do and we're not very much aware of. We think that we don't have experience in a specific field, area, industry when we do. In your case, you actually have it already, yes? So it's all about how you present it in your different documents, how you present it when you talk to people. Yeah, so the recording will be shared as well. Okay, I succeeded in connecting with people from companies I would love to work with. I sent a message inviting them to have a quick call to get to know their career path better. However, no one seemed to be interested because I didn't get any response. In this case, should I send another message or forget it? You can do different things. You can send another reminder to them. People are busy. If you actually get the ebook, you're going to see that repeat a lot. People are busy. Sometimes you need to remind them, and that's fine. Send 3 messages, 3 emails. So the first one is that introduction, follow up 2 times. If after 2 times they don't reply, then okay, move to another person, right? Yep. Any advices for a military vet with no specific competencies? I'm sure you have competencies. Just go back to that career clarity, ask yourself what your skills are, and focus on those. And then, maybe you're missing some skills, right? Maybe the role you want, the role you're looking for, requires some skills you don't have yet. Ask yourself, how can I get these skills? How can I learn something? Okay, I have had some. Sorry, I'm sure I'm not answering everything, so I'm just checking some of them. But we can also just collect all these, and we can do some quick live or something like that to answer if we don't have time to cover everything. Okay. So I've had several interviews and have even passed several filters, but they don't call me back. They don't call me back. Where was it? Oh, they don't call me back. I decided to send emails to find out how the process is going. Should I keep writing or go ahead? Or go ahead, meaning to like give up? I think it really depends, right? So my tip, and I mentioned this, I think a minute ago, is always follow up. So send an email and then follow up twice. If then they don't reply, you can move forward. You can go do something else. But you want to make sure that you have followed up. You have sent that initial email or try to call up if you had interviewed, right? And then follow up twice. It's very common for people that have had interviews not to hear back from recruiters and hiring managers, unfortunately. I've worked with a lot of hiring managers that were calling people up. I've also worked with hiring managers that would never do that. So again, don't make it mean anything for you, for your skills, for your experience. It doesn't have to do with you. It's just about them, right? So again, focus on what you can control. What you can control is how many times you follow up with them. Yeah, similar. So similar. I've had several interviews and the companies do not give me any feedback. Should I approach them myself? You should definitely approach them yourself. So right after the interview, you send that follow-up email, not that thank you email, thank you so much. You want to highlight for your time, blah, blah, blah. You want to highlight 2 things that you liked about the interview and the role and everything. You also want to highlight 2 reasons why you think you're good for the job, and close with a very nice message. Again, on my Instagram, I have a lot of posts about, a lot of different templates. On my ebook, I have a lot of different templates specific to that, so you can check all that. Oh, thank you so much for the feedback. Already want to start messaging people? That's the approach. That's what we want. Nice. Let me just scroll up a bit, and I need to check the time as well. we
So
have
like
a,
up,
we have a
up
few
there's
minutes
no
left.
so many questions, so like we can continue, and I'm gonna select
Okay,
all the
let's
comments, and
continue.
at the end
So
we're gonna answer. Okay, so
perfect. Let's do that.
go.
Let's do that. So we talked about clarifying your goals, creating powerful career documents, networking like a pro, stayed on track. The last part, last but not least, is rocking the interview. Again, I can talk about this for hours or days, but the key word here is prepare, 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 and then prepare a bit more. And I just saw that it got dark here in the room. I hope you can still see me. So yeah, sorry for that. Top interviewing tips. I've talked about research already, right? So research, it is so important. You need to know if you actually want to work there. And it will also help you answer the why do you want to work for us? Why do you want for this company question? So research the company, know your strengths for the role. A very quick exercise you can do, make a list of the different strengths that are required for the role. You don't need to match 100% of the requirements. You don't. 70%, go ahead. Why? Because if you match 100%, you're going to be happy there for a few months. Then you'll be like, oh, I want something else. I want to learn more, right? So if you match 70%, go ahead and apply. I'm not telling you to apply for jobs you're totally unqualified for, or I don't know, to apply for a doctor's job when you just don't have the skills. But there are a lot of things that you can learn. There are a lot of tools you can learn. So know your strengths, write down all the requirements for the role. Then ask yourself, do I have this, yes or no? Write yes or no. And then add an example that shows that you have that skill. This is going to help you so much with behavioral questions. Tell me about a time when, or how do you handle stress? How do you do this? How do you do that? It's going to help you a lot. Prepare before. Then the third tip is arrive, or just join the video call early, not 15 minutes early, 5 minutes early. Then dress appropriately and watch your body language. They see that. Ask questions at the end of the interview is done. Hopefully they're going to offer me. I'm not going to ask any questions. I just want to get it done with. It's very important to ask questions. There are so many different great questions you can ask. A very good one that I was asking myself in the past when I was being interviewed for roles is, what do you like about the company? You can ask the recruiter, you can ask the hiring manager. It will give you insight about the culture of the company. It will give you insight about the team. That is one. Another good one, very simple. What will you like me to focus on in the next 6 months if you hire me? It makes them already see you in the role and imagine you in the role. And the 6th point, we talked about this, send a thank you note within 24 hours of the interview. Again, on my email templates ebook, I have a thank you note templates with examples and a lot of other templates, so you can check all that there. The most common interview questions: tell me about yourself. That's the icebreaker. They don't want you to tell them about your whole life story. You can tell them some things, right? But what they want is really to get to know about you as a professional. They want a very high level, 2 to 3 minute answer about your professional journey so far, so that then they can go into more detail. Why are you interested in this role, this company, this location? We talked earlier about your strengths, right? We said, know your strengths. When they ask you, why are you interested in this role? Use these strengths. We talked also about researching the company. When they ask you why you're interested in this company, you're going to use all that. Why should we hire you? Again, going back to your strengths, but highlight one. Identify what is the most important thing they're looking for, and you have, and tell them that. What is your greatest strength and greatest weakness? I remember last year, a lot of people had a question about how to answer this greatest weakness question, right? What you want to do, and I believe people might ask now as well. So what you want to do here is to basically identify a real weakness. Don't say I'm a hard worker. That's very generic. Identify a real weakness, but something that is not important for the role. If, let's say, communication skills are crucial for the role, and you say, oh, I'm not a very good communicator, they don't want that. Why would they hire you when they're looking for a good communicator? So identify a real weakness that is not important for the role, and then tell them when you realize that was a weakness, what you decided to do, what you did, and the results you're seeing. Why did you leave, or why do you want to leave your job? And where do you see yourself in 5 years? A very tricky question. Things change so much. You don't even know what you're going to want in a year. So how can you know in 5 years? Focus on the company, focus on your development. If it's, how you see yourself in 10 years, you can even give a specific title, but job title. But what I would say in this question is focus on how you want to develop, the areas where you want to develop, and how you see yourself in the specific company. So it's important for you to know the values of the company, for the values of the company to align to your values, so that you actually see yourself in 5 years there. Okay, let's summarize. So we talked about clarifying your goals, creating powerful documents. We talked about networking. We talked about staying on track. I shared that Google Sheet with you. We talked about rocking the interview. So as I told you, this is high level. I really hope that you learned from it. I hope you took a lot of some things, even if you start with some small things. It's about any questions, you can always connect with me. Again, just to tell you about that ebook, if you get it in the next 24 hours, using the coupon code, you can get $10 off. And you can always reach out to me. You have my email, on social media as well, my website as well. Yeah, I'm ready for some additional questions, I think.
Yes, Matilda, it was really useful information. I'm really impressed. I did my notes even.
Oh, perfect.
So it's perfect. So guys, if you have any questions, just ask Matilda. We are here for you. So
I think I'm checking, but I think I might need some help. So if you see any questions that I haven't answered yet, and maybe I missed. Yep, perfect. I think we covered that. Yeah, we talked a lot about connecting, right? We talked about career changers. Yep. And if there's something that you might think about later, you can also just directly connect with me on LinkedIn, on social media. How do you stay, very good question. How do you stay motivated when facing multiple declines during the job search? It will happen, right? Ask yourself, was I rejected because I did something wrong? Or was I rejected because I was just rejected? Was I rejected because I didn't prepare for the interview? Was I rejected because I just didn't fit the requirements, right? Was I rejected because they hired someone else that had more experience? Did they just simply close the role? So there are a lot of things. Focus again on what you can control. If you didn't go well in the interview, then that's a learning for you, right? So what can you learn? maybe you didn't prepare enough. How can you prepare enough, or how can you prepare better in the next interview? It's all about understanding what went wrong so you can improve that. Sometimes maybe nothing went wrong, right? Sometimes maybe it just did not depend on you. The outcome did not depend on you. Could you give more tips on interview answers? Connect with me because we don't have more time now. And again, interviewing is something that I can talk about for hours. As a new graduate student with a master's degree, lack of experience because many rejections, we see the word rejections a lot, right? Even for certain internships. How can we cope with this problem? It's the same. It's the same. So if I go back, yeah, this is a bit slow, but if I go back to the beginning, there are a lot of things, right? So career clarity is one. Then your documents are another thing. Your resume, your cover letter is another thing. Interviewing is another thing. Networking is another thing. Identify if there is some improvement area in any of these parts and focus on that. On how to make my resume more competitive. I think there's going to be a session specific to resumes, right?
Exactly. We're gonna have like
Exactly.
another webinar and lives about this. So no worries, guys.
Perfect. Make sure to join that. And again, if you want to connect with me, just connect with me. I'm happy to always offer tips and advice. Oh, I'm also thinking of applying for jobs in other countries. How do I start? That's perfect. If I could give one tip to everyone, is to gain experience abroad, guys. Really. And maybe that's not necessarily nowadays move abroad, maybe work for a remote company abroad. Well, Europe language jobs, get started there. You are already starting there. But definitely do that. Okay. Cover letter. I wonder, okay, last one, I believe, right? I wonder about your idea. No, I wonder about your ideas about cover letters. We already answered some questions while applying for a job, and we already send our CV to the company. Writing a cover letter is actually very time consuming. I'm with you in this. Is there any way to prepare a cover letter more quick, maybe? Again, if you go on my Instagram, I have cover letter templates. The thing with cover letters, and it's something that a lot of recruiters argue about, some are like, they're never read, some others, so don't prepare one, right? Because no one reads that. Some other recruiters say, and career coaches say, always prepare one. I am rather on the second side. Why? Because the truth is that most recruiters never read cover letters. This was my experience. I was not really reading cover letters, but I worked with a lot of hiring managers that wanted a cover letter. They were between two candidates before even deciding who to proceed with. They were like, oh, let me see their cover letter. So you don't want to miss on any opportunities, right? Maybe it's not read. I'm here, I'm telling you the truth. Maybe no one is reading it. So that's why you want to have a template that you can easily adjust. I create always a lot of templates for my clients. They can easily adjust, target a specific company, highlight a specific part of their experience after identifying what the company is looking for, and it gets so much easier. But again, go to my Instagram and I have a template there, yeah? Okay. Is it okay to say that I'm still working even though I completed my contract a couple of months ago? Why do you want to say that you're still working? Maybe you have a reason, maybe not. But the thing is that nowadays people take breaks. It's normal to take breaks. So you don't need to lie because they're probably going to ask you, right? So ask yourself why it is that you want to say. Please clarify, how does it impact the hiring process? I think it's the same question about the contract, right? Yeah, honestly, I would not lie. I would just be honest about completed my contract and now looking for something for my new challenge, for something where I feel good, something where I can use my skills and experience and all that good stuff. Okay. I think we have answered everything, right?
Yes, I think so. I think so, guys. Do you have any more questions? Okay. Okay, thank you guys for disengaging. Like it was amazing. I think it was perfect. Matilda, thanks for
Thank you so
everything that,
much.
yeah, that you were sharing with us. So much energy and so much information. So yeah, I enjoyed it a lot, and I'm gonna use your tips for sure. Like
Perfect. Thank
I
you so
don't
much.
I don't want to move, and I don't want to change my career path. So for
Yes.
now it's okay.
It's good to clarify that, you know.
That's right. That's right.
And you
Okay,
know what I
guys.
shared today is tips that you guys can use in the future as well, right? So take these. You took notes. Hopefully, you're going to get the presentation, and you're going to be able to see the recording as well. You can always go back to it because things change. Job search changes, but what we shared today is things that remain the same.
Yes, perfect. So guys, for sure, I'm gonna share with you this presentation on our YouTube, so you can watch our channel, and yeah, just check our website europelanguagejobs.com, and of course check Matilda's social media. She has so many useful information. And one more time, thank you, Matilda. It was amazing to taking part with this. Yeah, and I
Thank you
hope you
so much for
enjoy it as well.
organizing, and thank you everyone for joining.
Okay, that's perfect. So, guys, hopefully see you soon. Like next Tuesday, next Thursday, like all month, we're gonna share with you a lot of information. We're gonna have live with our career coaches. We're gonna have like roundtables. So stay tuned.
Take care. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you, Matilda.
Bye bye. Thank you.